All right, so ladies, welcome to our Daring Faith team call. I just had a total scare, which is why I kind of was like running a minute or two behind. Literally went to go feed Christian. I feed him at 8 o'clock, which is 7 o'clock Dallas time. And like the drop wasn't happening. I was freaking out, and like finally 45 minutes later, everything's good, but it took forever. And that's the first time that's happened in a really long time. So I was like,
yeah,
what's going on? so there's that. But he is happy and now hopefully sleeping for Joe.
good.
But anyway, so Anna and I had a really great conversation yesterday. So great that it went on for 2 hours. So I was like, holy crap.
I know.
But ironically enough, today in my personal development, I've been reading Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. And today, a lot of what I read about really hit the nail on the head. I think a lot, not just within our team, but with society, which she generally nails society to a T when it comes to love and belonging and connection, vulnerability, courage, and all that kind of stuff. But I think it can be, I have so much in my head right now. I'm just trying so hard to make sure I don't like word vomit, you guys, so just bear with me. As you saw, or should have seen in Daring Faith, how a couple days ago I'm working on, and I've been working together with Anna on trying to really develop something to where we prevent the feeling of overwhelm when it comes to all the things, when it comes to being a challenger and then running this business, utilizing the vital behaviors, having that quote balance in life of how to work everything else that was already on your plate and then this business. The reality of it is it's hard. Did anybody see Ruth's post today that she shared in Dare to Dream?
Yeah, I really liked it. It was very like, now that I'm following her, it's very her, but I really appreciated that because I feel like there's been a lot of talk in even Dare to Dream kind of like that. So I thought it was very.
Basically boiling down to, if you didn't see it, it's like, embrace the freaking hard. Everybody has hard, but it's a matter of, it's our choice to turn that hard into something else. But I think a lot of times we're trying so hard at something and feeling such a level of exhaustion that it's really a matter of just figuring out how it's going to work for you versus like applying every other person's method of how this works for their business. So that's a lot of what Anna and I talked about yesterday, was just trying to figure out like how to apply the trainings in a way that works for you, but to where you also feel connected within the community and the team. Does that make sense? Yeah, Jenny, does that make sense? Okay. So I am in the process of putting together some, I'm trying to like figure out how to, in an organized manner that makes sense for everybody as much as possible, how to put together valuable content from a training standpoint without overdoing training, because I know that we can all get so tied up in training but then never actually take action. So I'm really trying hard to avoid that. But I'm the kind of person that I love the details. I love the big picture as much as I love the details. It helps me. So I'm trying to be that person to understand, like, okay, what does that mean and how can I display that properly? Had a conversation with Joe today, because he also used to coach with me full time. And so I was like trying to ask him, what was it, like, from now that you are the outsider, and I talk to him all the time about our team together, the challenge group. He hears a lot about it. So I was just trying to get the outsider's perspective there, who also was because he used to be heavily a part of Dare to Dream as well. So I was trying to really I'm just trying to hone in on this. And to be honest, there's a lot of struggles here, because Dare to Dream University training is great, but I also wonder if there's an aspect of it, like what I had mentioned in the post about missing out on like really better understanding how to best use our time. So I literally like went to go do like a dummy video today just to kind of like get my thoughts and words out and like practice it, as far as like how to put together a schedule. But the more and more I was doing that, I think that's going to be a valuable resource. But I also, the big word I think that Anna and I took away yesterday from our conversation was the importance of developing a culture to this team. And it's very lacking, and that's 100% my responsibility as the leader of the team. But because we are still such a small niched team within Daring Faith, I think it would be wise for us to start coming together on a little stronger, deeper level, recognizing the truth behind all of this, basically calling out the elephant in the room, whatever elephant that is for you. It may not be the same for everybody, but I think we can all, I mean, I know whenever I talk to Alexa, she watches or re-listens to the recording the next day because she just can't tune in at this time. And Anna, I don't think I told you this, but she actually very much connected with your topic last week. So
Oh, nice to hear.
yeah, so sorry about that. I should have told you.
That's fine.
But she really connected so much to everything that you shared. And so I think it's just time and time again we come back to these team calls, and they're great to come together and talk about issues, but I feel like there's still a lack of like between understanding, knowing what to do, or just even putting in the effort on what to do, aka meaning action. So I just, before we put all before we, and I say we because this is a team effort here, before putting in all this time to maybe add into extra trainings, I kind of just wanted to see, like, would y'all like me to kind of just give you like a 2-minute, like maybe okay, let me be real here. Just pulled up Brene Brown again. 5-minute little showing of my schedule to see if it will actually, like, if kind of like my mindset of where I'm trying to go with it, if it's even going to help. There's another big topic of what I read today that I really want to share with you guys, but I know it's going to take way longer than just this call. So that's why I'm like really trying to put together words in the right way possible. So forgive me if I sound a little all over the place, but would that help if I showed y'all my schedule and kind of just like a 5-minute thing, or is there something else bigger than that right now that needs to be addressed on how to...
I guess for me, even after we talked about the schedule and stuff, like I started working on it yesterday. And I think part of my issue to start off is like not necessarily like the creating of a schedule, but more like the realization of like how I'm utilizing my time currently. So what I decided to do yesterday was like, instead of creating the schedule, just like writing down what I did for the day, and then the same today. Kind of like we used to do these when I worked for the state, and they're like time studies to like show how much time you're dedicating to certain things throughout the day. Because like when I was like, I sat down to do the schedule, at least for us and like my life with Jude, we have like different classes at different times. And like I know Jenny's similar too, with like clients at different times of different days and all of that. So like having a set schedule for every day is kind of difficult for me. Where like we have like big blocks of time that are pretty similar, like bedtime is always the same, all of that. So that's why I'm like, I know that if I have leftover things, like they have to be done after he's in bed, because I know he goes to bed at the same time every day. So I think like, so this week at least that's what I'm doing. So I think seeing your schedule once I do that would be helpful, just to see like how much time you're spending on certain things more than necessarily like how you fit it in with your schedule, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I think you actually helped me to go from 5 minutes to 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So let me just show y'all really quick, and that way maybe it just might help, but it does help me to go like, okay, this could be a 2-minute thing, not a 5-minute thing. So let me just share that really quick. And that way I can just see, is this even effective at all or not? So can y'all see this? You don't have to see necessarily like all the words and everything. I can talk about
Yes,
that.
we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Are y'all on your phone? Is that why it's hard to see?
Yeah, but you can zoom it.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was just like squinting at, but
okay. So basically, like how you just mentioned, like I know that like each day, like you might not have like a set, very specific routine like I have here. Like my Monday through Friday looks very identical. But this is the thing. This is what I basically wanted to point out. One big thing is I go to bed and I wake up at the exact same time. It does not matter what day of the week it is. Obviously, there's a little bit of gray area with babies sleeping and stuff like that. But the general idea is I'm going to bed and I'm waking up at the same time. The side note to that from a day-to-day life is I've had to learn the importance of saying no to things, even if they're good things. If it means sacrificing me being able to go to bed at the right time to help me make sure I wake up, because I just know myself, if I don't get the rest, my whole day is going to be like crazy. And it's one thing if Christian keeps me from rest, but if the things that I have control over, that's one big thing. Number two, I plug in everything I do into my calendar. So like literally you see here, it's my morning routine, my feeding times with Christian. I was telling Anna, obviously being a stay-at-home mom, I do things at home to help make things productive. So like I literally put in that I'm cleaning for 30 minutes every morning, Monday through Friday. I put in that I'm doing prep time, 30 minutes Monday through Friday. Obviously, if you're full,
food prep.
What's that?
Is the prep food prep?
Yes.
Okay, like meal prep. Okay.
Exactly. Yep. So again, like I was telling you yesterday, like I do Instapots.
Yep.
Like that's all that's there for. So like one day it might be doing, right now we're on like a meal plan of, it's the same thing every day. So like some days I might just be doing oatmeal. Some days I might be just doing eggs. Some days I might be doing the chili or whatever, but I know that I've got that 30 minutes. My playtime is 100% like that's Christian wake time, playtime with him. It helps me to stay away from my phone and away from every other distraction. And then what I also wanted to just point out was like all these yellow blocks you see of like post group invite and then invite, workout, and then work. Those are all either sleep times from him that I dedicate to that, or at night. This is when Joe and I have had the conversation, hey, you take care of Christian, I'm going to work and dedicate my time to that. Outside of that, it's like just everything's plugged in. So even the intentionality of having family time, Joe and I have had this conversation. Like we know now that my workout time, he might be helping Christian if he wakes up from his nap, so I don't have to be interrupted by my workout to do those kind of things. So my schedule is going to look way different from anybody else's. So like, I definitely want to point out that it's not about like making like, oh my gosh, like there's no way I can do all these things. That's not the point. The point is I've literally broken down to the T of everything I do in my day so that I can see where my time blocks are at, because I know me, I can make a to-do list anywhere, whether on paper and my notes on my phone or anything. But if it's not scheduled, then it's like my mind just goes wandering of all the things I have to do, no matter if I have it on paper or not. So this is just what works for me. Does this help to kind of give a little bit more of like what you were talking about, Anna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because I feel like that's something that like people don't talk about necessarily, and like not like what the time expectation is, but like I don't know a lot of like how much time you put into it helps with this much output type of, like I know that it's not guaranteed, but like that type of thing, like an hour versus so, and then also just like not having necessarily how long I should be spending on invites versus other things. But I think part of it right now is I just need to be spending any time on all of those things, and then I can like work out how long things should or take me longer, or like whether it's finding followers, like all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that helps.
So to the time thing on like how much to spend in each, I do remember from Get Over Your Damn Self, her breaking that out
Yeah.
into like, it was like 80% of your time goes towards prospecting. So obviously that being our inviting. And that to me was like an eye opener when I first read that, because I was like, holy crap, like I'm spending way too much time in the non-money making activities. And so again, like with this 8:30 to 10:30, I usually spend the 8:30 to 10 on, if I didn't already create, because like my intention is to create posts with it for my groups the night before, so that way they're scheduled, so I don't have to worry about that, because I ideally like to have them up at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is not when I'm actually on my phone, but I want it posted so that people see whatever the stuff is, right? And then that way from 9 to 10:30, that's my inviting time, and then whatever's left over from that is my inviting from the 12:30 to 2 o'clock. So I just give myself that secondhand buffer to make sure that I'm getting everything in that I need done. I'm still kind of playing with what work means from 5:30 to 8 Mondays and Friday, or Mondays and Wednesdays. Like I'm still trying to like make the most use out of my time, but I can tell you this, that because I know that I have a max of 2 hours in the morning, and then an like hour to an hour and a half, maybe tops of 2 hours in the afternoon to invite, it's amazing how much, when you set a time, how much faster you will power through building relationships. So there's that. But yeah, so anyways. Jenny, what are your thoughts when you look at this?
I do something similar. The time blocks aren't quite the same, but I use Google Calendar, and it allows you to set a reminder, a goal, or an event. So I set them as goals, so that way it puts it in between my clients or wherever I have my workout block or anything like that. And I'm not trying to worry about scheduling it. It just schedules it and adjusts it as I add stuff to my schedule.
That's what this is.
Oh, yours looks different than mine.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Oh.
If I click on this and edit it, because you can also do this. What I love about this is it's also an app, which I'm sure you probably use that too. But yeah, that's where like all the things you were just saying. I set mine as events. I don't set them as, I've never used the goal thing, but
yeah, but Jenny, maybe that's something that might work better for me, since it's a little bit like changing day to day. If I set how much time I want to spend on something, then we'll find that open time.
Yeah.
Where I have it. Is that how that works?
Yeah. So as far as like my social media stuff, sometimes it doesn't put it until 9 o'clock at night, but that's when I have a 15-minute open block to reschedule tomorrow's post.
Okay.
And sometimes it'll put it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or right after I make my smoothie in the morning, or something like that. So
okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. Super convenient.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's again, like that's a prime example of like figuring out, because obviously like it's interesting that like we both use the same resource but in different ways. And so that's a big reason why I wanted to bring this up, to show like there's so many different ways to go about this. It's the point of it, kind of like what you were even saying, Jenny, whenever you were asking about which method to use when it comes to like tracking your inviting and that kind of thing. I'm obsessed with Teamsy. It is, in my opinion, the hands down best tracker out there. But that's just how my brain works, and it's worth me paying $30 a month, because I know I'm going to get my crap done, and I know I'm going to like get an ROI on my investment for it, because of how much I love going to Teamsy. So it's the same thing with when it comes to your calendar or whatever method you use to track yourself. So Anna, and I'm in no way putting you on spot, but have you had a chance at all to look, because we were also talking about just other things that we can put out on the table to like help everybody to kind of like just really create a better vision and feel a little bit more connected and driven to their coaching business. Because I think I think 90% of the time we treat this business as a hobby, even if we have the intention of wanting it to grow bigger than that. Just because we just don't take it as seriously, and there's all kinds of reasons behind that. So we're just trying to figure out better ways to help create a culture of this is a business, and it's up to you on what you want out of that, of course. But we also want everyone to feel like they have the resources, they have the connection and all of that to make it what they want out of it. So with that to say, we were not just talking about scheduling, we were also talking about really making a bigger and better understanding of income potential. So Anna, were you able to look at that, or did you find anything?
I didn't. But Jenny, I was talking to Ashley more about when we were at Super Sunday, and Corey Abraham was talking about like the comp plan, and like what I was talking about was, it was like really eye-opening to me when she went through like each of the levels, and it's like a spreadsheet I've seen before about income, but like until she was talking about it and talking about like, if all you look for is like people who want discounted Shakeology, like that's the type of coaches you're going to be getting. And then also like the income per level. So like once you're Emerald and like above, and all the levels about like the potential income that you're making. And then if you're not making that, like then we need to look at what you're doing. That I think was just eye-opening to me, because I feel like a lot of people, even within Dare to Dream and stuff, like don't talk about income a lot. And I feel like the effort in the business does kind of equate to like what your income from it ends up being. And so I thought maybe having a training in here for everyone else might help, because at least for me that put it in perspective a little bit too, about like what the potential could be versus what I've at least seen in the trainings before.
Okay.
And no, I didn't look into it more. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, it literally like I said, my Mondays and Wednesdays are the only nights that I have to like really put towards this right now. Like,
yeah,
nut it up more and do Tuesday nights, but I'm just trying to take it slow. But I don't know why it slipped my mind. You had mentioned something and it made me think about something and I can't think of it. Oh, that's what it was. So I know that you had mentioned this, Anna, like a week or two ago, about doing like more level of accountability when it comes to like inviting and stuff like that. I think you had actually even mentioned about like doing invites like at like together with somebody or something.
Yeah, I like I mentioned that as an idea.
So, and because I used to do that with an old success partner that I had in Dare to Dream, and it was actually really awesome. We were together for like a year and a half. We were together for like a year and a half, and it was amazing. Like at least once a week we got on a Zoom, just the two of us, and we didn't always talk together, but we just knew we were going through the motions of the invites together, and it just made you feel more connected to it all. I know that everybody's schedule is different, but I thought the next step that because this is funny, because as I was talking to Joe about it tonight, he even said to me, he's like, Ashley, I think the biggest reason why you wanted me, or one of the reasons why you wanted, why we wanted to do this together was because you actually really enjoyed me being home so we could do the invites together. And I was like, man, it makes so much sense. So with that to say, I know everyone's schedule is different, but I thought maybe if we took that like next first step into like, maybe there's, I don't know how to handle the person that does the pockets, because I know that's kind of a little bit more of where you're at, Anna.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like that could be something super beneficial to like help from an accountability, because I don't know about you, but I'm not going to get on a call with somebody and just like not start plugging in and doing an invite if I'm on a call with somebody.
Well, exactly. And that's why I think what was calling to me a little bit more on that National Wake Up Call about that was like just like getting either I can like add everyone to like a group Facebook message or something or whatever, and then just like shout out to on our page like, hey, I'm going to be doing my invites now or something, like, and then whoever can do it then would hop on. I think she said that they use Zoom or something, just to have it open, but I know that has to do with like how many people are on it and all that. But yeah, like that was an idea for me, because I just feel like it would be pockets at different times, maybe more in the evening. I'm not really even sure, which I think that's why I haven't been doing it yet, because I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like, because I just kind of do it like here and there. I'll send out a couple here and there. So
yeah,
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I
But
love it, love it, love it. Well, because even if, I have a 30-minute pocket, well, you can come in on the last 15 minutes of that and still finish it out. And it's at least a little bit of accountability.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. No, I definitely agree. All right. Well, let's like, the reality of it is it's the three of us, Sam and Alexa, that are really desiring to do something here. So, yeah, I mean, I can share with y'all exactly what I'm doing, my stuff. So I have that fortunate ability to have a little bit more of a set schedule right now. So there's that. I'm also the kind of person, because when I do my invites, it's sleep time, so I can't exactly chit chat verbally, but I can chit chat messaging, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like there's also that side note of like, some people might be able to talk and need that. I'm not going to be able to offer that. And the person that can do the same thing with me, we can work together on that. I think that's the main importance, right? It's just knowing that there is somebody else there. It's not so much like, yeah. So I think then the first step is just, listen, guys, I'm showing up every single day, Monday through Friday, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter how tired I am. It doesn't matter how unmotivated I am. I'm showing up. I'm doing the work because I want the weekends off. And ultimately, I don't want my husband to not be around for our family. I have a big vision of a long-term deal, but it's just a matter of like, I don't know if y'all saw my post yesterday on Facebook where I was like, it's all about I saw it from somebody else, and I was like, oh, that's good. Habit over making goals. Like, create habit first and then develop the goal. Because I think so often the goal is like looking 10 steps ahead, when it's like, okay, first step, habit. Like, create the consistency of like creating that habit, because that's what's gotten me excited to even do the invites, is I created such a habit out of it that I have found a way to get excited to friend request somebody, as weird as it may feel. Or like I posted today about Instagram. Y'all, it feels so weird to like, because it's so different from Facebook. Like Facebook, it's like when you friend request, like I don't have a problem friend requesting somebody and like commenting on their stuff, because there's connectivity from mutual friends. So it doesn't feel as creepy, like, to do that. Like, if it was like, I don't ever friend request on somebody that I don't have at least one mutual friend with. But like, my connections have grown so much that like, generally I'll find many people with like 15 to 100 mutual friends with or something. So I've just gotten in such emotion with that I don't feel creepy ever. Whereas on Instagram, like, it's weird to me. But like today at work, like I commented on like 5 people's posts, and like they totally talked back to me like we were friends. Like, it was weird. I was like, man, this actually freaking works. Like, it still feels so weird. Like, I feel like a creeper. Like, I like even want a private message to be like, hey, I noticed that you're also a stay-at-home mom, and we also have this. But I'm like, ooh, maybe that's a step too far. Like, I don't know yet. I don't know.
Well, worst case, you send it and they think you're weird and they block you. I mean,
this is true.
There's billions of people on Instagram. Because let me tell you, since I made my page public, a bunch of dudes will message me and just be like, hey, good looking. One guy was like, I can't believe you're single. I'm like, what?
Are you serious?
Yes.
I don't have that. I've never had that. I get weird people that will like ask me.
Maybe it's something about what I post. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's literally like me and my son. I'm like, okay, this is gross. Black. Like, it's so bad.
I mean, I get random, like, I can tell they're trying to promote or connect, like I'm trying to connect, but like, I have yet to get, but hey, that's probably a product of me not working my business very well on Instagram either, so maybe that.
Well, maybe I'm working mine not in the appropriate way.
So I'm really, I do really like.
I like seeing that I'm making Jenny laugh really hard, but I can't hear. It's funny. Okay.
Hey, we have unlimited minutes tonight for some reason. I just got a notification from Zoom. We can talk for 3 hours. No, but no, like I do really like the idea of working together from that accountability standpoint. I think it's really going to help.
I think it'll just make everybody feel more connected. So like that was something with in that call that I liked a lot was like, that's what all of it had to do, was like the culture of like accountability within her group. Like that was what the whole talk was. But
And the fun part about that too is like, if say you and Jenny, say you both are like teaming up one day, and then like you come across an objection or a weird situation you just don't know how to handle, and neither one of you have an answer, then you can go to Daring Faith and say like, hey, Jenny and I are trying to work through this and can't quite figure it out. Anybody else have any advice or tips on how to work through this? Like, you know, I think that's going to be a little bit more of like how to really kind of help, because the biggest thing, and I know Miss Positive Pants will agree. I can't believe that's the first time I brought that up since last week.
Great nickname, by the way.
Huh?
That's a great nickname. You said it's not always in the best light, but it's still a great nickname.
That's good.
It really is the best nickname. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. People can call me a lot worse things. One time though, like literally it changed to Pleasure Pants because somebody couldn't remember what it was. That was in my interview for my last job, that I was talking about the Positive Pants part. And this guy was like, said something about it and then called me Pleasure Pants instead. So maybe, I don't know. It was weird. That's why it makes me laugh a lot, because I'm like, is it the best name? Anyway, okay, sorry.
Really random side note, and we'll get back on track. I don't know comedian. I grew up with my dad like laughing about some random comedian to my sister and I, and the way that he said something. I don't even know where any of this like humor comes from, but maybe you've heard it, or maybe I'm just gonna sound like the biggest weirdo on the planet.
I'm excited.
I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Like I'm gonna laugh through it the whole time.
Well, you have to do it, because otherwise this is the worst story ever.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to do this. I'm like building this up and then y'all aren't even gonna laugh.
No, it's gonna be terrible. I'm excited about it.
Okay, I gotta get serious. Go upstairs and put some pants on. We're big pant people.
I've never heard that, but I like that you did it.
When you mentioned the Positive Pants, that's the first thing I thought about. So now it's gonna be, go upstairs and put some pants on. We're positive pant people.
I like it. I like that a lot better.
Okay. All right, moving on. So
We didn't make a game of it.
now I don't even remember where the heck we were at. I knew I was gonna lose track too much. And Jenny's we were talking about doing obviously the accountability. Oh crap.
You brought up something about me.
Yeah, positive. Oh, thank you. The positive. There was a reason why the Positive Pants got brought up. So basically, the biggest thing here is no matter how many objections we face, no matter how much craziness, because the higher your numbers go, the more objections you get, the more craziness of the objections you get. It just happens. But the biggest rule here is to always keep it positive, because those objections get crazy, and always keeping it positive. That is my one rule. Because there's always
so what, like, you mean in the group or what?
Yeah, because I mean it can easily
Okay.
turn into like, I mean I've just seen it. I've seen it, and like people will just get into talk like bashing people's objections. Like
Oh. I mean, is it okay though if you like can comment about being frustrated about the same objection and then seeing if people have something to combat it though? Like, is that fine to post about in the group? Okay.
Heck yeah, that's being real.
Okay.
I just like, I don't like see like if like kind of what we had talked about at one point. It was either this week or last week about like when someone comes up with a money objection, it's not a matter of bashing them for not having the money. It's getting to the root of the reason and being okay with saying, I'm here for you when you're ready, if it gets to that point. But I just have grown in the years of figuring out how to properly have that conversation to where it's more of an encouragement versus a shut down, you know, for just because of whatever that objection is. But that's the kind of things that I think will come really good from us doing this together, is it's going to help us like work through and figure out how to overcome the objection. And that does not necessarily mean to instantly get that person as a customer, as a coach, but to continue a genuine relationship so that when that person is actually ready. So anyway, that's, I don't want to get into too much rabbit trail, but I just really wanted to just make sure that like we keep it positive, we embrace the realness of the situation, but always follow it and like, you know, finish it off with like some form of a solution. With it, if that's the better way of putting it. So.
And then one thing that I don't think that you mentioned, just about the culture piece, was one of the reasons why we wanted to do this was so that people don't feel so independent, but also feeling some guidance about like what to do to grow your own team and feeling like less alone about that. So I just wanted to like put that out there, that was something that we talked about.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's such a huge factor. So thanks for bringing that up, Anna, because I know I can get heavy on talking about growing daring faith, grow daring faith, but I never want it to make anyone feel like the objective is also to grow your own team of whatever culture that is when you're ready, and that it's not a matter of like, oh, you're not part of this team here, but I don't ever want anyone to feel guilt or shame or, like you said, alone or anything towards building up to that level. So yeah. All right, so anything else?
Yes. When y'all are talking about inviting and creating these genuine relationships, what are y'all actually saying? Because I'm just like, in my opinion, or in my world, I feel like I'm faking it. So I'm just like, no, I'm not really here for the relationship. I'm just here because I need something from you. Because I'm not the type of person anyways to reach out, be friendly, do any of that stuff. It's like, is it just small talk?
You said it perfectly. It's if you are the kind of person that hates small talk, you want to get straight to the point. Like, for example, today when I had shared with y'all, I finally like got into a good hashtag stay at home mom life. I found a couple of women who had posted some stuff I personally genuinely did actually like have fun conversating back and forth with, but of course I have the intention of eventually opening up that relationship to talking about coaching, but I have also let go of the feeling of like not being disappointed if they're not interested or never sign up. I don't know if that helps you in that situation, but it's just a matter of like, for example, hairstylist stuff. Like it could be a matter of like finding other topics of interest that you genuinely are interested in, that you could actually have, you know, connection points and conversation with people, and take that path. But I do know that there's people like, for example, Jessica Nelson talks about it all the time. She hates small talk. And a lot of times she'll kind of get a little bit more to the point, but I'm kind of an in-between. So I don't mind the small talk, but sometimes I will take the small talk too far and then it never gets anywhere. So I've learned to kind of get better about that. But I think it's just the biggest deal there is to find topics of interest that you do genuinely care to have conversation with people about, because I think when you do that, you find like a connection that's fun versus it just all like versus feeling like forced and ingenuine. Does that even help? Does that make sense at all?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was just going to add to like any training that I've watched like about that type of thing, anytime you're looking for like people, that's why a lot of people say, like, look at products that you use and like find people that way, or certain hashtags about things that have nothing to do with fitness. Because if you're looking at like things about fitness or nutrition or like anything like that, like you'll just find a bunch of us. So and you just want to be able to talk to people about like other things, because that's, yeah, like I am not a small talk person necessarily. So like even on Facebook, when I mean, I've sent you what I send to people on Facebook. I'll like comment something like super short about like, hey, super glad we're still connected. Your kids are cute. Bam. Accountability group. If they're not interested, they don't reply. But like I get a decent amount of people that are like, yeah, send me more information. And then I send them more information. They might say no, they might say yes. But like there's people that like I just am connected to on Facebook that like they were a friend of someone in college. So like they probably see my stuff, but like they haven't unfriended me on Facebook. So like we're connected enough, but like I don't feel bad if they're gonna like not want to be my friend. Like I don't know. But like I'm not also gonna like start talking about a whole bunch of stuff, because then I feel like sometimes if you get like too far into it, especially for people that like you genuinely have like met in life before or something, I feel like the more you talk about stuff sometimes, then I feel like it feels a little bit like, well, I just had this whole conversation with you just because I want you to do this thing for me. Like that part feels yucky to me. So that's why I'm like, I'm just going to say it up front. This is what I'm looking to do. Does this sound like something that you might be interested in? And then I might have them make a different conversation a different day about something completely different with them. But like if that's my objective at the time, that's what I'll talk about. But yeah, like through Instagram, I just usually try to like find connections of things, whether it's products that I use or like interests that I have or something that's like completely not related to this.
What random thing, Jenny, that like today, I found a stay-at-home mom. She posted a picture of this little like food sampler platter thing, but of like stuff that she made herself. Really simple, but it was like one section had like popcorn, the other section had grapes and the nuts and all these random. But in her caption, it was snacks for her and her family, like rented The Incredibles 2. Well, Joe and I just watched that like 2 nights ago together, and I was just talking to Anna about how like I need to stop eating so much freaking popcorn. And so I saw that and was like, I legitimately connected to it, and like so I commented. I was like, this is the coolest and simplest little fun thing for the family. Like, what a great idea. Did you love the movie? Because we love the movie. So like I just genuinely connected to that. And then I was actually excited by the way she commented back into like a creative conversation. And it was just natural, just fun, just random conversation. And so I can see myself after we actually genuinely, if she goes back and forth with me and starts connecting, then at that point I'm going to reach out and like, hey girl, like it's been really fun connecting with you. I have a group. It seems like it might be something you'd want to do. No, I always say like, no pressure, just wanted to shoot it out there. If you want some more information, happy to share it with you. And then I just end it with like what do you think? Like that's literally like all that it takes for me. So does that help between what Anna shared about product and then that?
Yes.
Okay.
And especially
sorry, go ahead.
Especially the short follow-up. Like I have a group that I think you might be interested in. If not, no big deal. Like just wanted to put it out there. That also draws more interest. So
yeah,
like,
and if they're totally not interested, then they'll be like, nope, pass. Like, but
well,
it takes the emotion out of it.
Well, something I decided to do, because I feel like I haven't been getting a lot of no's, but I've been getting a lot of reads and no replies.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back this week and I said, hey, it's okay if you're not interested. Do you know anybody who would be?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm getting so many yeses, and I'm like, why didn't I do this last month?
Yeah.
I'm like, I should have done this like 4 days after I saw that they read it.
And it's amazing to me too. Like I usually will try to give, which I used to be better about this, but like I usually give people like a week or something to like see. But like if it doesn't even see, like on Facebook too, it'll show you if they read it or not. But like sometimes even if it says like they didn't read it, I'll like still shoot them like a follow-up about like, did you have any questions about this? Or like, hey, I have like this group still happening. this is something new that's going on. Like, just like constantly following up with them, because until they're like, please stop talking to me about this, like, I feel like the door's still open. And I just feel like, look how many times a day that I used to like get messages on Facebook and then I like look at it and then not reply, not meaning that I didn't want to do it or like whatever, I just forgot. And so like some people that are even in the accountability group now, they're like, oh my God, thanks for following up. I totally looked at this and then spaced about it. Yeah, give me more information. And some of them ended up being no's once they looked at it, but like, that's okay. Like, it's not, so far no one has been like, you're bothering me.
Yeah.
So
this is what I would do. I message them, and then 2 days, I set a 2-day follow-up, and then after the 2 days, if they still don't respond, I give it a week. After that week, I'll do every week for a month. After that, then I just follow up on a monthly basis. I don't care if they've never responded or not, they will get that message. I can't tell you how many times I've almost talked myself out of another message because I'm like, I'll scroll, like, I get to a point, because what I do is, like, once I say, like, when I reach out, like, hey, what you think about, like, do you want to join this or hear more about it? I get their phone number that I can text them versus being on Facebook or Instagram. On Instagram, I do an email because I just, again, I, like, have not gotten okay about doing, like, phone number stuff yet. It just feels weird to me. But regardless, I get a different point of contact. The phone numbers with Facebook work fantastic. There's something on a deeper level to be having a connection on a text message versus a Facebook message, at least for me. So I will like literally see like 10, 15 messages of me messaging them and not one response. And it's always that time I'm like, it's getting a little sticky, like I feel weird about this. And that's the one that they end up responding to. Like, yes, sorry, I haven't been replying. Like, I've been crazy busy. Or it just happens to be good timing for them. Whatever.
Well, actually, like, look how many times you messaged me. And I'm telling you right now, I would look at it and be like, girl, I'm not ready. But I never replied. Like, I was just like, I'm going to give this space. And then, like, you would just, not like hound me, but you're just like, hey girl, hey. Like, you're super nice. And, like, I was just, like, in my own shit and not wanting to, like, be positive because I was, like, in a rut. And then I was just like, all right, fine. So, it works.
Yep, it works. Just be nice, be genuine, be you, be lovable, and people can't not be nice to that. And the ones that aren't, like, piss off, like, screw them. Yep. So, all right, guys, this whole, like, having unlimited time, we're, like, way past.
Doesn't help. Yeah.
But I think this is great. I'm just gonna start posting every day, like, hey, I'm about to do my invites if anybody wants to, join in Messenger or join in anything. So if y'all want to do that same thing, and we'll just kind of like roll from there and see how it goes. Yeah. I think one, it'll be great for accountability, even if no one shows up with you, that everybody else is doing it at some point in the day. And two, obviously, like, it'll help to kind of just open up that door. So like you said, Anna, we don't feel alone while we're doing all of this. Yeah. Yep. There's that. So now it's, because it's accountability, I'm going to be like, who showed up today to invite?
I know. But still, that's the whole thing, is like how we were talking about on the phone about just like people need to take responsibility for their own stuff. And like, this is how we can do that together. But ultimately, like, it's everybody's personal businesses. So like,
yeah,
you need to show up or not. And then it is what it is. So
awesome. All right, ladies. By the way, you're doing a freaking awesome job, Miss Jenny. That was awesome seeing your post.
The funny thing is that I didn't think twice about posting anything on Instagram. I just did it. And then I was like, oh my goodness, like everybody I know on the face of this planet is on
No,
Instagram.
Jenny literally texted me and was like, hey, I posted my transformation on Instagram. Do you think I should post it on Facebook? Yes. Like, why are you asking me this? Why would it be no? Yes.
Because Instagram is different than Facebook. That's what this whole conversation has been about. It's true. Different.
If you ever look at Anna or myself, like, or any other coach, like, that's actually doing this business, duplicate everything on every social media platform. always, because you never know who you're going to reach.
Yeah, but I got such positive, like, feedback from that. It just like shocked me.
See? Then you can follow up with all those people.
The I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh no, I don't. Does Teamsy schedule messages for you, or does it just keep an outline for you?
It does everything for you.
It
Oh,
schedules
that
it
is
for you?
so worth
How did I
$30.
miss that?
Why do you think I love it so much, y'all?
So worth $30.
Do you want me to show you real fast?
Can you?
I can really promise.
Oh
you.
yeah, 'cause we have unlimited time tonight.
You do. It'll be worth it. I'll show you really quick. Y'all, like I'm telling you, it's to me, this is one of those things where like I've spent thousands of dollars, and I mean thousands, on growth and personal development when it comes to trainings and coaches and all kinds of stuff. This is the one thing that I would hands down say like it's freaking worth it, because it's one of those things. I'm not gonna spend $30 on this if I'm not gonna get an ROI. Like it's just to me not worth it. But if you're serious about your business, this is to me. I've tried every possible prospecting tool, and this is my favorite. It's colorful and it's simple and it's visual and it's on your phone. You can also use it from an app on your phone. So as you can see here today, like I keep pointing, like y'all can see my finger. So here, we'll go to team and then upcoming. See where it says follow-ups. So when I click on upcoming, these are all for like obviously like if it says follow-up for November 15. These are my November 15 follow-ups. And then I can go down and I'll see like the next day is the 16th and so on and so forth. So I always have everything scheduled out and I know exactly how many when I wake up in the morning or when I go to do my invites, the next day when I start, I go plug into here and I can see how many invites I have. As I told you. Go ahead.
The app, like Teamsy itself doesn't like do it, like you don't put it into Teamsy and then it sends it, right? You have to still go in.
Well, yeah. I mean, you still
okay, that's what my question was.
So
because that's what I thought.
I'll click on somebody's. So if I'm like coming
Yeah, just organize the names well. Yeah.
Like I can like when I message her tomorrow, I'll select the type of how I did. I can select put any notes that I want to. And then if I invited her to something, I can select what I did. And then you can select however you need to follow up, like whatever day. What I do love is they recently changed it to where like if you see this, like if I did a Facebook message, if I hit invite and then challenge group or business, like anything I invite to, watch. There'll be an automatic 2-day follow-up that pops up. So I don't even have to select the follow-up days, which is fantastic. It just takes one little extra step out of the picture, unless you can always manually change that. If you don't do an invite, then it doesn't you have to set the follow-up yourself. But this is where my whole life has just like completely changed. Like most often when I'm really heavily into this, I've got like well over 100 people that I'm able to like communicate with because of how quick and fast this works. And you can like check off your dailies, your other stuff, because it's very geared to like Beachbody coaches. So there's that.
That's awesome.
Does that help?
Yes. Well, because my biggest thing with Teamsy is that I looked at all the videos, I went to the website, all of that stuff, but I didn't feel like it gave me an example of what it actually does.
You'll get training, like whenever you sign up, when you do your trial or whatever, you get trainings on like how to upload. But the other thing that's really cool is you can upload your entire friend list. I don't know if it actually lets you do Instagram because it didn't because Instagram was like a huge thing when I started. I don't think it does. I think it might be just Facebook. But it can like it will upload your entire Facebook list of friends. And then
Will it do it from my email?
what's that?
Will it do it from my email?
I'm not sure.
There's like multiple ones. It'll go through it for you during your trial. I mean, I think it's worth the try. You don't even have to like put in a credit card or anything when you do your trial either. So like you can, like I just did the trial and it's for a month. And so like it helped me really organize like people that I didn't even know, because you like rank everyone for like people that like you pretty much know will join or whatever, to like probably not because they've already said no or something, like leave me alone. And then it like ranks them that way. So that was helpful for me because there was a lot of people that like I just forgot about because I have so many, like just that amount of friends on Facebook. But that's what I liked about it.
It's pretty awesome. So did you decide it wasn't worth it for you, Anna?
It at the time I felt like with that, and that like I really was trying to focus on like growing my Instagram a little bit more, and then I felt like it was like one more step of like something for me to do. Like it was helpful for the like getting the follow-ups, but then like going back in and like documenting who I talked to and all of that, I felt like it like ate up a lot of time. But I think it might have just been like the state that I was in at the time too. Like it was just very new and I was just trying to like get moving, but I think it helped. I mean, I was inviting way more at that point.
Yeah.
It helps like keep track of who you've talked to.
Yeah.
Which now that I've been inviting more, I'm a little overwhelmed by that again. So
I mean, the other thing too that I really like about this, kind of going back to like how to be genuine in conversation. This has happened. Obviously, I'm more versed in this with Facebook than Instagram, but I do know for sure. Well, there's actually a couple people from Instagram. But anyways, when I've talked to certain people and then they've got certain things coming up in their life, or they're wanting me to reach back out to them at a very specific day or specifically next month or something, I'm never going to remember that. I cannot do that on paper. Like it just is not how my brain works. Like it's not going to be possible, especially when if these numbers are usually up anywhere from 50 to 100 a day, there's no way I will ever be able to keep track with that. And I like to be able to know, like if someone's struggling with something, or they've got a new job coming up, or a home that they're about to purchase. I like the fact of being able to message them and show like genuine interest in their life outside of fitness and health, and to say like, hey, like how's the house coming along, or hey, your dad's been in the hospital, how's he doing? Like just simple, short, quick messages, but just something to show that like I legitimately care about you. I'm not just out for your money. I want you to live a healthy, fulfilling life, of course, but like it's just building relationships. But it makes it super, super quick and simple. So to me, this is how I'm able to keep up with that, because it just reminds me like, hey, this person, and then I'll go and look back at their message and be like, oh yeah, they told me about their something, da da da, da, and then I can just like message back about it. So there's that. But anyway, so definitely recommend at least going through the trial, see if it's worth it. For me, I told my husband when I signed up for this free trial, it was, I will not purchase, or I will not go through with the $30 purchase if I don't earn my $30 investment. And so that was kind of like my way of like, I knew how bad I wanted this program. So it was like, okay, balls to the walls, like I'm going to put the work into it. That was my own personal like competition to myself. And ever since plugging into it, that's what I make sure to do, is like I get an ROI no matter what, and it helps. So there's that. Again, just got to find what works best for you. So, all right, ladies, it's been fun. I'm excited to see everybody show up and show how they're rocking their invites.
Bye, guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.